What if I told you you're not lazy, you're not broken, and you're not behind, but you are slowly wasting your life and you don't even realize how? And here's the scary part. By the end of 2026, most people watching this will still be stuck in the exact same place. But one tiny shift decides who escapes and who doesn't. I'll show you that shift, but not yet. Because first, you need to see something uncomfortable. The invisible trap. Right now, your life feels busy. You wake up tired, you scroll, you work, you rest by scrolling more, you sleep, repeat. Feels normal, right? Here's the shocking part. This exact routine is how people lose years without noticing. I once asked a friend, "What did you do in the last 5 years?" He laughed and said, "I don't know, stuff." That's when it hit me. You don't waste your life by doing nothing. You waste it by doing everything except the one thing that matters. But what is that one thing? Hold that thought, because first, there's a lie you've been told your whole life. The motivation lie. You've probably told yourself, "I'll get serious when I feel motivated." Sounds reasonable, until you realize something terrifying. Most successful people don't feel motivated either. Crazy, right? They wake up tired, they doubt themselves, they procrastinate. So what's different? Here's the result nobody talks about. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. The logic is simple, but uncomfortable. Your brain doesn't reward thinking, it rewards movement. But here's the twist. Most people are waiting for motivation to start, while winners start just to feel motivation. And that leads to a bigger question. Why is starting so painfully hard now compared to before? That answer will sting a little. Your brain is hijacked. Ever sit down to do something important and suddenly you're watching a video titled "Guy Builds a Pool Using Only a Spoon"? 3 hours later, you hate yourself. That's not a discipline problem. That's a dopamine hijack. Here's the shocking example. Your brain today gets more stimulation in one day than people in the 1950s got in a month. So when real life feels slow, your brain panics. The logic? Dopamine trains your brain what to chase. Fast pleasure equals scrolling. Slow pleasure equals growth. Your brain chooses fast every time. But here's the hopeful part. You don't need to quit dopamine. You need to retrain it. And the first step is ridiculously small, almost stupid. But before I show you that, we need to talk about time, because this is where most people truly lose their life. Time is leaking. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If I asked you what you did last Tuesday, could you answer confidently? Exactly. Time doesn't disappear, it leaks. Here's the scary result. Most people remember their life in vibes, not memories, because nothing intentional is happening. The logic is brutal. If your days aren't designed, your life won't be either. But don't panic. I'm not about to tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. and journal under a full moon. The real solution is simpler. It starts with one question you've probably never asked yourself, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it. The one question that changes everything. Here it is. If nothing changes, will I be proud of where I am in 1 year? Most people don't answer. They avoid it, because deep down, they already know. That's the shocking result. Clarity hurts. The logic, your brain avoids pain, even the helpful kind. But asking this question once a week does something wild. It forces alignment. And alignment is what separates busy people from fulfilled ones. But here's the trap. Clarity alone doesn't save you, because knowing what to do doesn't mean you'll do it. So what actually creates real change? This is where 2026 becomes your turning point, or painfully the same. The 30-minute rule. Imagine if I told you you don't need to fix your whole life. You just need 30 minutes a day. Sounds fake, right? Here's the shocking example. People who changed careers, built businesses, got in shape, most started with less than an hour a day. The logic is simple. Consistency beats intensity. Your brain resists big goals, but accepts small commitments. So instead of saying, I'm going to change my life, you say,
For 30 minutes, I won't escape. That's it. No phone, no multitasking, just progress. But here's the twist. Most people still fail even with this rule. Why? Because they aim at the wrong target. Stop chasing goals. This part is controversial. Goals are overrated. Yeah, I said it. Here's the shocking result. People obsessed with goals quit faster than people obsessed with systems. Goals are outcomes. Systems are identities. The logic? When you miss a goal, you feel like a failure. When you miss a system, you just continue tomorrow. Instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, say, I'm the type of person who trains daily. That tiny identity shift changes everything. But there's still one enemy left, and this one quietly destroys more lives than failure ever will. Comfort is the killer. Comfort feels harmless. Netflix, delivery food, late mornings. But here's the brutal truth. Comfort delays pain. It doesn't remove it. The shocking example? The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. The logic is cold but fair. Your future self pays for what your present self avoids. And here's the part nobody tells you. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your habits. Which brings us to the final loop, the one that decides if 2026 becomes your turning point, the identity decision. One random day in 2026, you'll wake up. Nothing dramatic, same room, same phone, but one question will quietly decide your future. Who am I becoming if I keep living like this? That's the final payoff. Because life doesn't change when motivation hits. It changes when identity shifts. Not tomorrow, not January 1st, today. And here's the truth I promised at the beginning. You're not wasting your life because you're incapable. You're wasting it because no one taught you how small the fix actually is. So start embarrassingly small. Stay uncomfortably consistent.